Good morning. Hope you guys are doing well. I have been really on a roll with the books lately. I finished The Lost Book Shop, which I gave 4 stars on Goodreads. I so I liked it, but it took a while for it to get really good, and that was kind of what gave me the need to give it 4 stars, because it took a while for it to really, for me to really get the twists and turns of it. And so it did end up being good, but then it kind of ended up not, I don't know. It's still that book where I would never read it again, and I would love to pass it on to a friend of mine, or something. I just don't think I would read it again. Next, I read The Writing Retreat. This was so good. It did take a while to really see the twists and turns, but once you saw them, man, you just were did not want to put it down. You wanted to know what was going on. And the whole aspect of it is that these girls get invited to go to a writing retreat at one of their favorite authors' houses, but then things just get totally haywire, and I personally highly recommend it. I am finding that I'm really into the suspenseful thriller books right now. This was so good. I really liked it. And what really fascinated me too was that the author is also a therapist. And so that made me a lot more interested in how she came up with the ideas for the psychological and suspensefulness of the book. But I guess that's just the part of me that has taken counseling classes, and so really has made me interested in how she came up with was curious about how she came up with those characters. And then I read The Night Swim, which is the first book in a series about a podcaster, which is kind of what got me interested in the series to begin with. And her name's Rachel Kroll. And basically, she literally does a crime podcast, which I don't know about any of you guys out there, but I love my true crime podcasters that I listen to. I always find it interesting. And so the first book started off kind of okay, I see she's I just started off not sure whether it was gonna get good or not. And I have been finding that I am encouraging myself to not watch as much YouTube or TV during the day and just really spend the day reading. It makes me very sleepy, but it gets me through the book so much faster, and I also get it really just takes me away from the technology, which I like. And so I really like this, because the twists come when you least expect it too. And so I even was texting my boyfriend every now and then, and was just so maybe I was still using my phone for technology, so but still I just could not. I would just it was that jump out of your seat, what, but I definitely recommend. And I gave this one 5 stars. Actually, no, I gave it 4 stars, because I think there could have been more twists and turns, but I just really loved when the twist and turn came. Once that went came, I was like all in. I was ready to know how it was gonna go and how it was gonna end. And so now I am reading Dark Corners, which is the next one in the series. She does not have one after this. I don't know if she will end up writing another one. So this is the next one with Rachel Crawl in it, the podcaster. So I'm only a few pages in because I started it last night and kind of was ready to crash. But those are my books so far. I do either want to go to the Barnes and Noble that's in my town, or either go to or either look on Amazon to see what book I want to pick out to order for after, so that I have a book backup, because I've been really trying to make sure I have a backup book for once I'm finished. So, and this was the last one that I had. I do not have any other books, so I need to make sure to have a backup book, because I do not like to finish a book and then not be able to dive into another one. But that's just the bookworm in me. But that is me with the books. What are your favorite books down below? Honestly, I did not read a lot of thrillers and suspenseful books growing up as a kid. I was definitely more of a romance girl for some reason, but I am kind of at that point where now I love that stuff, and I am really enjoying it right now. Maybe it's because of the type of weather and everything. I have no idea. I like a lot of the books that are more romancy themed or best friends themed. I am trying to save for when it gets warmer outside and are more beachy themed, because those are the ones that I really want to save and read during that time. But otherwise, that is my book collection so far. I wish I was faster at reading books, which is why I'm trying to kind of encourage myself to not use YouTube as much, and to not watch as much TV during the day, so that I can hopefully focus on reading a book more, or even just doing something else that is not technology related, because I really need to focus on we do not need to be consumed by technology. I mean, it is part of this, time period, but, still, I can tell I am just getting addicted, and I want to finish these books, especially because they get so good. And then I get to this point, I'll read them before I go to bed, and then it gets good right when I want to try to go to sleep, which I don't like that. Anyway, I am going to go ahead and I think I'm going to read. So I will see you guys later. Bye. I am back from going to Barnes and Noble, and I did end up getting a book. I was pretty I gotta say, it was pretty busy in there, which I was pretty that wasn't expecting that. But I was literally in there for probably, it felt over an hour or more, but I don't know if it was. It just felt like I was in there a long time. But I also was looking at books and pulling books out and really checking the prices and trying to make sure I was not buying a $30 book. So I ended up getting a book, and it actually is on my want to read list on Goodreads. It is The Silent Patient, which I know someone who will be incredibly happy that I ended up picking this book. But this ended up being one of the cheaper options of all the books I was looking at. And so, but it also still was satisfied that like want for like a thriller mystery type suspenseful book. So this is the book I am going to read after I finish Dark Corners, and I have already been reading that a lot today as well, but the sun's out and I am just like thrilled about that because it was so gloomy, and I was so thrilled that the sun had finally come out and I could go, and just decided, you know what, I'm gonna go and walk outside for a little bit. I might even sit outside for a little bit with my book. But let me know in the comments if you've read any of the books that I listed, or if you've read The Silent Patient. I know someone who has, but I have not read it. I do think it's going to be very interesting to read. I personally do really love a good like TV series or book where there is some sort of twisted game in it, in the sense of there's like a patient and like the counselor's involved or something. I love stuff like that. I have watched a series on Hulu related to that, and it was just called The Patient, and I loved that. But it was just so fascinating, and I loved analyzing like everything. But that is it for me. This is a pretty short video, but you know, hey, nothing wrong with that. I will see you guys next time, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.